After the CEO's wife went bankrupt, everyone thought I would take the money and run away, because I was handsome but only loved money. I would use the CEO's wife's money to eat, drink, and have fun every day. However, I wanted to accompany the CEO's wife to make a comeback. If I could just let a little money slip through my fingers, I would be financially free. But who would have thought that the CEO's wife's bankruptcy was fake? When I traveled to this novel, it was already the finale. The beautiful CEO was the villain who had been defeated by the heroine. I still remember the last words about her. The only things left for you are your wine, were her husband lying in the bedroom, and her expensive watches and clothes. Only were you wine herself knew that this man, who had never paid attention to her except for money, would soon take his own watches and clothes. If he left him, he would end up with nothing. I rubbed my temples and thought of the bankrupt CEO's wife and sighed faintly. Since getting cannon fodder is pretty good. Now I have become this cannon fodder. I feel embarrassed. I took the money and ran away when Liu Ruyan hit the bottom. At least I have to wait until he has his own income or career. After spending a while to sort out my thoughts, I got up and started to clean up the messy house. It took me 3 hours to stuff all the things into a corner of my room. The things were piled up to the roof at this time. There were more than 100 watches and more than 80 sets of clothes. At this moment, I really hoped to replace the clothes with watches. After all, watches are easier to sell than clothes. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I woke up. It was already past. Touching my rumbling stomach, I flipped through the wallet on the coffee table. Sure enough, I found my ID card, bank card, and a few hundred yuan. I didn't go into the kitchen at all. We just moved in these 2 days. Neither of us can cook. There must be nothing in the kitchen. I have to find food for myself. Fortunately, Liu Ruyan rented a house. Although the house is not big, the neighborhood is nice. There are a lot of restaurants downstairs. I walked downstairs and ate a bowl of noodles. Thinking about the few supplies I saw in the bathroom just now, I went to the supermarket again and came back with a bag of daily necessities. I also bought Liu Ruyan's portion. The colors and styles were all bought according to her preferences in my memory. When I got home, I started cleaning again. I turned the door and walked into Liu Ruyan's room. I found that there were only a few necessities except for a few more things on the bookshelf and desk. I sighed helplessly. It's hard for this woman who grew up in a golden age to endure such a life now. There is nothing to clean in this room. I wiped the table, put away the documents and other things, and closed the door. I went back to the living room and started to clean other places. After the whole house was cleaned, it was already 10 o'clock in the evening. I washed up with peace of mind and put the midnight snack on the coffee table. Just as I opened the package and was about to put the first bite of food into my mouth, the door opened. I looked up and bumped into a pair of eyes as clear as autumn water. The owner of the eyes looked at me expressionlessly. When he looked away, he inadvertently swept across the room. There was a flash of surprise in his eyes. His eyes returned to me again. I looked at her at the same time. This is a very, very beautiful woman. It is worthy of the author's praises to describe her. Feeling Liu Ruyan's gaze, I unconsciously clenched the chopsticks in my hand and felt nervous unconsciously. After all, I am a fate. And someone like Liu, knows that her husband is wrong. Her eyes make me feel that everything is visible in her eyes. You hired a cleaner. Is the money enough? I shook my head subconsciously. No, I cleaned it myself. Liu Ruyan was obviously surprised when I cleaned it. I took a deep breath and raised my head to clean it myself. Liu Ruyan stared at me with surprise. Well, Liu Ruyan looked away first. Is the money enough? It's enough for you. I asked back as usual. Liu Ruyan looked at me, and she slowly said enough. After this sentence, both of us fell silent. Liu Ruyan looked at what I was eating on the table. Suddenly, she said, sorry. I didn't really... I looked up and saw where the other person was looking. I shook my head quickly. No, you have nothing to apologize for. Liu Ruyan walked over and sat on the sofa on the other side. She said carefully, the property issue has been basically dealt with. The movable and immovable properties under our names have been deducted. Although there is nothing left, there is no debt. You don't have to worry about the debt problem. I still have 30,000 yuan in my hand. After these things are dealt with, I will make money as soon as possible. There should be 60,000 yuan on your card. I have paid the rent for this house for half a year. If you want a divorce, I will give you another 20,000 yuan. You can live here until you rent a house. I know Liu Ruyan has done her best for Cannon fodder. My entire property is only 90,000 yuan. If we get divorced, he is even willing to give me 80,000 yuan and allow me to live here. You will definitely not want the watch and clothes. Then you will only have a room and 10,000 yuan left. Seeing that I didn't say anything, Liu Ruyan said I will give you a portion of my future earnings every month. At least 3,000 yuan a month, okay? Because I don't know the future situation now, so I can only promise this much. If there is a chance to make a comeback, I will compensate you. I quickly shook my head. Liu Ruyan stopped talking and fell silent. I realized that my actions just now might have caused misunderstandings. I immediately explained, No, I don't want a divorce. I don't need you to give me money. Don't worry, I still have enough money to spend. I'll accept the reality. I will save money in the future. I'll also make money by myself. You don't need to put so much pressure on yourself. Ordinary people don't spend much in a month. You don't want a divorce. But didn't you say yesterday? Liu Ruyan didn't expect me to say that. At this time, I remembered that Canon's father seemed to be very angry yesterday. He said Liu Ruyan was useless and wanted to divorce. My face froze. That was because I was drunk at the time. I didn't mean that. I had thought it through. I can't divorce you at this time. Since we are married, I will also take care of life in the future. You don't have to worry about me. I can still support myself. Maybe I can support you. I looked up. Liu Ruyan looked at me strangely, but didn't say much. If you don't want a divorce, then forget it. When you want a divorce, just tell me. Liu Ruyan stood up and dropped her temples. Fatigue was revealed in her eyes. She stood up and went to the bathroom to wash up. I lowered my head and continued to eat awkwardly. After hearing Liu Ruyan enter the bathroom, her steps paused for a few seconds. She probably saw me after I cleaned up. I looked completely different from before. Then the sound of running water came. When I finished eating, Liu Ruyan also came out after washing up. It wasn't as awkward as I imagined. Her clothes were covered tightly. This beautiful face of anger and resentment thanked me and went to her bedroom. Before entering, she politely said to me, You should go to bed early too. I scratched my hair. It felt like a dream. I sorted out my thoughts again. I also went to wash up. Then I went back to the room, opened my laptop, and applied for a personal store on the second-hand market online. Then I turned it off and went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up at 6:30 in the morning as usual. I picked up the ingredients I bought yesterday and put them together. After cooking the porridge, I went downstairs to buy steamed buns and fried dough sticks. When I came back, Liu Ruyan just opened the door and came out. She heard the door open and looked up to see the breakfast in my hand. I rubbed my eyes unconsciously. I probably thought I had seen wrongly. Good morning. I raised the buns and fried dough sticks in my hand. I bought breakfast. I also made porridge. You should go wash up. After that, I went to the kitchen to see how the porridge was cooking, ignoring Liu Ruyan's surprised eyes behind me, because both of us stayed up late before. I was afraid that both of us would be short of energy and blood. I specially made red dates and red beans porridge. The porridge was almost done now. I scooped the bowls into the porcelain bowl I bought yesterday. Then I put the buns and fried dough sticks on the plate. I boiled eggs and prepared some side dishes when Liu Ruyan came out of the bathroom. The barely sumptuous breakfast on the table. This scene was obviously very warm. But Liu Ruyan didn't feel it at all. She knew that her husband had been married for more than 3 years. He had never had any talent for housework and cooking. The only thing he could do was buy things. The information I found before marriage didn't say he'd do these things. Could he have been pretending before? The meaning of the girl in Liu Ruyan's eyes was too obvious. I sent out the reason I had thought of last night. Before, there was an aunt helping me at home. I didn't do it. Now there are only two of us. The family doesn't have much money. It's not good to go out all the time. The food I made is not delicious, but it's edible. If you don't mind, you can come back to eat in the future. So when Grandpa asked you if you could cook, you were lying to him. You why, sir? After saying this, she pinched the spoon and scooped a mouthful of porridge into her mouth. I was stunned. Is there such a thing? I quickly laughed it off. My level can't compare with that. At that time, I thought that Grandpa ate all kinds of delicacies from mountains and seas, so I didn't feel embarrassed to show off. This reason is barely acceptable. You and nodded. In fact, it tasted not bad. Ruyan ranked the porridge very well, but she only ate one bun and one fried toast stick. I looked at her eating movements. It was very elegant and I immediately understood. But this a woman who has never tired of fine food and never tired of fast and detailed food since she was a child, eating such a small soft food is really embarrassing for her. After dinner, Liu Ruyan wanted to help bring the things to the kitchen. I quickly stopped her up. It's okay. I'll clean up the thing. I can wash the dishes. Oh, do whatever you want. Liu Ruyan put down the dishes and chopsticks. The business has not been dealt with yet. It should be evening when I come back today. You don't have to worry about me. Call me if you have something. You go and do your own thing. When Liu Ruyan leaves, I finally feel at ease. Even if this woman comes back and restrains her aura, she can't erase the nobleness from her body. The oppressive aura is even more looming. If I hadn't seen many such people before, I might not be able to bear it now. I have a lot of things to do today. Not only do I have to add some things to the house, but I also have to take pictures of those watches and clothes and sell them online. With so many things, I estimate that if they are all sold, they can get more than 1 million. Liu Ruyan has the starting capital for whatever she wants to do, and I still have to study the online literature in this world. Then, I will consider returning to my old job. Yes, I'm an online writer. My major in college is interior design. After graduation, I didn't want to make this my main career, so I just wrote articles. Occasionally, I took some odd jobs, drew pictures to earn extra money, and helped write other promotional materials from time to time. Anyway, there are many ways to make money. I have always lived a good life. After washing the dishes, I took the list of things to buy and went out. I've never had the hobby of shopping. After buying things, I came back, settled them, and took pictures of watches and clothes. I was so busy that I didn't finish taking pictures of watches until the evening. I was so tired that I couldn't bear it anymore. I heated up the buttons I had in the morning and ate them. Then I went back to the bedroom to read online articles. Physical activities. I can't hold on today. I can only do mental work. 2 hours later, I clapped my hands happily and drank the coffee on the table. The online literature in this world is a little backward than my original world. I wrote before this article can be rewritten in this world in a better way. It's so wonderful. At this moment, I suddenly heard the sound of a door opening outside. I hesitated for a moment, but still jumped out of bed and kicked. Ran out with slippers. I had no choice. I found out this morning that the door of the house was not locked last night. Liu Ruyan was probably used to living in a villa. Forgot that such a house needs to be locked by herself. and paused when she saw me come out to hang clothes. I said hello to her while running to lock the door. You're back. I just found out this morning that the door was not locked last night. I used to be someone in charge of security when living in a villa. Now there is no one. This kind of door needs to be locked at night. Otherwise a thief can pry it open. I know. The two people are basically like strangers. I had to take the initiative to find the topic. Have you eaten? I have eaten. Today I bought some daily necessities. If you need anything, you can tell me. I'll buy it later. Nothing is missing for the time being. The topic ends. What else can I say? I think. 3 seconds decisively chose to evacuate the scene. That's nothing. I'll go back to my room. Call me if you need anything. Ruy and looked around the room after I closed the door. He also went to the kitchen and bathroom for a walk. There are a lot more things in the house today. It is a bit more life than before. There are even small potted plants on the windowsill. Ruyan looked up. A hint of an ambiguous smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. This man actually plans to live here. It's like a I don't know what Ruyan is doing at this time. She is busy organizing her computer. Canon father worked hard in high school. She was admitted to a key school, but she basically just muddled through college. His computer skills are terrible. This laptop is so slow. I have to clean up everything in it. I also have to see what Canon father has done in the past. I flipped through the folder where photos are stored. There are many self-photos in it. Most of them are Canon father's own selfies. A small part is his father's. The last folder had a bunch of garbled characters in its name. I clicked on it and saw that it contained photos of Canon father and a woman. This woman looked like a socialite. She was pretty, but her appearance was not my type. She looked like a little green tea. Especially when she smiled, she looked pure and weak. Seeing the two of them so intimate, my soul was trembling. I quickly checked the date. Fortunately, they were all taken before marriage. It scared me to death. I kept a few photos that were not so intimate. I quickly deleted the rest. At this time, I remembered that this woman was Canon father's girlfriend when he was in college. A rich girl, but they had broken up for so long. There was no need to keep these things. Fortunately, Ruyan didn't care. Otherwise, if she was discovered, it would be a time bomb. When I was almost done with the computer, the time had come. It was almost 11 o'clock. I yawned and jumped directly into bed. Sleep. The next morning, I got up earlier than yesterday. I didn't go out to buy things. I chose to make fried rice by myself, poured milk, and served his side dishes. When Ruyan got up, I had almost prepared the food, just ready to eat after washing up. You can also make fried rice. Ruyan looked at the rich fried rice in front of her. Refresh her perception of me. Yes, although I can't make many things. Home cooking is still no problem, but it's not delicious. At most it's edible. Don't despise it. Ruyan scooped a spoonful and put it into her mouth. Not bad, it's delicious. Just like it. I'm still thinking about today's plan. I didn't even raise my head. I'll come back for lunch today. I was stunned for a moment. Then I reacted. I'll take whatever you make. I want to eat rice. Okay, I thought about it. Then I'll make sweet and sour pork ribs. How about scrambled eggs with tomatoes and egg drop soup? Can you eat enough? It should be possible. Then don't worry. Go out and get busy. We had lunch at around 12 o'clock. After lunch, Liu Ruyan took her coat and went out. It was me again. She cleaned up the dishes. After leaving the community, Liu Ruyan got into a car parked at the entrance of the community. The driver was his former assistant. He was also a friend chosen by his grandfather to grow up with him. As soon as he saw him come up and sit down, he handed him the paper bag in his hand. Yan, you made Tsuchi's breakfast. I've eaten it. Fried rice made by Chenze. The hand that handed him the food paused. Brother Zay can cook. It was the first time I knew he could cook. He made porridge yesterday. I thought it was unprecedented. When he said he could cook, I thought he was bragging. But today he made fried rice. I said I would come back for lunch at noon. He also said he wanted to cook. During my abnormal behavior, Shilin frowned and asked if he had any conspiracy. Right. I remember you and him used to have nothing to do with each other. He doesn't know anything. By the way, didn't he say he wanted a divorce before? I've already checked the procedures. Why is there no movement now? Yuy and raised her head. There was a thoughtful smile on her face. He said he didn't want a divorce. He said he had accepted his current life. He would live a good life in the future. He would make money. Let me not have too much pressure. Yuy leaned on the backrest. The tone was unclear. Could it be that Brothers A couldn't stand you suffering and planned to share the joys and sorrows with you? If so, is he a good person? Yuy said inferiorly. I did nothing in college. In the past 2 years of marriage, I only knew how to spend money. He said he wanted a divorce the day before, but changed his mind the next day. What do you think? Shulin didn't know what to say. After thinking about it, he said this. People say that a person's true character is revealed in times of trouble. Maybe his conscience is against him. You don't know what a person is like until he encounters something. I've seen many people who have fallen out during this period. Maybe Brother Zay is the kind of person who can only be seen when he encounters something. Maybe Yuy and doesn't care much. Let's go. Anyway, you won't affect the overall situation. Let's wait and see. On the other hand, I had been busy shooting clothes all morning. I can't wear more than 80 sets of clothes. It's enough to keep more than 10 sets for appearance. Sell all the rest. You can still buy some ordinary clothes. More than 2 hours have only been spent on shooting half. I looked at the clock hanging in the living room. It was already 10 o'clock. Thinking that I needed to go out to buy groceries, I quickly put away the clothes, put on a coat casually, and went out. After leaving the supermarket, I walked towards the community with 2 big bags. Just after crossing the road, I suddenly heard someone calling me. I turned around and saw a woman who looked very beautiful and dressed exquisitely. Looking more carefully, wasn't this the woman in the photo last night? When the other party saw me turning around, she ran over immediately. Xiaozhe, why are you like this? I lowered my head to look at my clothes and then looked at the things in my hand. I was puzzled and asked, is there a problem? Why are you here? I heard that Liu Ruyan had gone bankrupt, so I came to find you. Look at you now. You still go to the supermarket to buy groceries. You must be cooking for yourself. You don't Liu Ruyan? Come back to me. I thought I heard her wrongly. This woman looked affectionate. You don't Liu Ruyan? Come back to me. I can give you a better life now. I feel bad seeing you suffer. Come back and follow me. I will definitely make you live a good life. If it weren't for the things about this woman in my memory, I would really be moved by the affection in her eyes. Qin Yue, the second lady of the Qin group, is also the ex-girlfriend of Canon Fodder. When this woman was with Canon Fodder before, she enjoyed Canon Fodder's attentiveness to herself and mocked Canon Fodder for wanting to be with a rich man. Oh, she was rich, she never spent a penny on Canon Fodder. When they were dating, it was Canon Fodder who spent the money. She summoned Canon Fodder at will and dismissed him at will. She was full of superiority. It was not until Canon Fodder was found by Yuy that he acted affectionately. Wanting to Canon Fodder rejected Liu Ruyan. Canon Fodder was sincere to her at first. He was reluctant to eat into where and saved money for her to spend, fearing that she would look down on him. But this woman only wanted to play with cannon fodder. Fortunately, cannon fodder was still rational and had not completely fallen into King Yui's love trap. Cannon fodder actually almost rejected Liu Ruyan at first. Fortunately, by chance, he saw this woman kissing his good brother and said that he was just playing with cannon fodder's feelings. Cannon fodder gave up. It was because of this that cannon fodder felt that only money could be relied on in life, and thus became the person who only knew how to spend money later. It can be said that this woman should bear at least half of the responsibility for cannon fodder's tragedy. Now this scumbag came to him, and it was definitely not because of deep affection. I don't know what she was planning behind the scenes, but she definitely had bad intentions. I think there are at least 3 reasons why he did this. In the past, Liu Ruyan was a person he could only admire and look up to. Now that Liu Ruyan has lost power, the man who plays with Liu Ruyan will I feel very happy. Second, if I am seduced away by someone casually, I will definitely hit Liu Ruyan again. Maybe they want to do something to Liu Ruyan again. Third, I have never been able to get it before. Cannon fodder, this bastard can't swallow this breath, so he must get me. As for what other reasons are there besides these 3, I have no way of knowing, but things are definitely not that simple. So I shook my head and said, I will not go with you. Go back to where you came from. I see where you Ruyan already a waste. He will only make you suffer. What is he trying to do? I sighed and thought of the previous cannon fodder. His face turned serious. As the saying goes, husband and wife share happiness and difficulties. I am her husband, so I must stay by her side. No matter what he becomes, I can't abandon him casually. Don't say that he is just a temporary failure. Even if he is disabled, I have to take care of him. This has nothing to do with suffering and lack of money. As long as he doesn't divorce me, I can't abandon him. Besides, now is the time when he needs me the most. What nonsense are you talking about? If I'm not mistaken, he and you have almost nothing in common. He just keeps giving you money and asking you to buy things. You have no feelings for him at all. Why do I have to suffer with him? Kinua looked at me as if he was looking at a fool. Who said he was not good to me? When he was rich before, he gave me a lot of money every month. Although he didn't have time to accompany me, I could spend money as much as I wanted. This money might not be a big deal to him, but no one's money comes from the wind. He gave it to me because of his kindness. If he didn't give it to me, it was his duty. Since he gave it to me, I should accept his kindness. Now he has lost power. Even if we get divorced, he still agreed to let me live in the rented house and was willing to give me most of the remaining money. He has done his best for me. I couldn't believe it. This is also called good. If this is not called good, then what's called good? We didn't have any feelings for each other. It's good to be able to do this with character. You say he is not good, so you are good. How can I be bad? If you follow me, I will definitely treat you very well. Before King Yue could continue, I interrupted him. I continued. I had no money in college. You always looked down on me. I thought I wanted to rely on you, a rich man. I have known each other for almost 2 years. You never spent a penny on us. Even the gifts you gave me were gifts from shopping. On the contrary, I had been working hard to earn money for you by doing part-time jobs. But you turned around and got together with my friends. You call that good? I ignored Kinyue's ugly face and continued. You come to me now, not because you like me, but because you feel happy to have snatched Liu Ruyan's man. If you really like me, why didn't you come to me when Liu Ruyan was not out of power? I was deceived by you before because I liked you. But since I found out that you are a scumbag, I can see clearly. I am not stupid. Who do you think I am? Did you misunderstand me after hearing what Liu Ruyan said? Kinyue's eyes were dark. You think too highly of yourself. People like Liu Ruyan will not come to me. I mentioned before that he wouldn't notice you at all. Only you would keep staring at him, trying to find a sense of existence in front of him. This is what the saying goes. What kind of person you are, the world in your eyes is what it is like. Go wherever you want. I don't want to say anything more unpleasant. Kinyue's eyes became darker. He took a few steps forward. He said weakly, boy, you must have been brainwashed by Liu Ruyan. How could you think so? I really like you. That Liu Ruyan is just penniless now, so she's dragging you around. You can't be so stupid. Stop. Don't come over. I immediately stopped him from getting closer in a loud voice. And sure, it's not human to abandon your wife when she's out of power. I won't leave him at this time. Forget about it. Even if I leave him, it must be when he doesn't need me anymore. What else did Kinyue want to say? Suddenly, there was a round of okay, brother, you're right. Your values are real. Yes, if people nowadays can think like this, they won't have so many divorces. The young man is really nice. Your wife is not at a disadvantage if she marries you. I just noticed that not far away there's a group of uncles who obviously just came home after exercise. The uncles and aunts came over. The uncle in charge looked him up and down. Kinyue kept shaking his head. TSK, little girl. He and his wife are living well. You come to steal his wife. That's not very decent. Imagine if you were married and there were women trying to steal your wife all day long. How would you feel? Don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. The aunt in red clothes took a step forward. He said that his wife had no money, so he should divorce and go with you. Then you can guarantee that you will not have a day without money in the future. At that time, can your husband also go with other rich people? If this guy really abandons his wife and goes with you, do you dare to ask? It's like these uncles and aunts have opened some mechanism. Why? They began to criticize Kinyue. I didn't even give him a chance to refute. He became morally corrupt in a minute. His 3 values are not correct and he is hopeless. A scumbag woman who is taking drugs. I quickly made way for the old men and women. I held back my laughter and shouted to them from behind the crowd. He is a man who needs to be educated. You have to educate him well. I have to go home to cook. I will go back first. We will talk later. The old men and women in front waved their hands. It's okay. You can go back. Leave it to us. Not far away. Liu Ruyan and Shilen, who had seen the whole scene, sat in the car for a long time without moving, until Kinyue honestly admitted his mistakes and was let go by the old men and women. Shilen spoke incredulously. Why, and that was brother's day just now, right? Why do I feel like he has changed? Liu Ruyan. It was also the first time she saw her husband like this. He never paid attention to him before. It's his brother Zay who is very good, although he only knew how to spend money before. But now that you are nominally bankrupt, he refuses to leave you. He would rather suffer and stay by your side. And it's not because he loves you, but out of morality. This is what those old men and women said. 3 views are to right. Liu Ruyan also felt that there was a certain degree of deviation in his perception of me. After saying goodbye to Shilu, Ruyan went straight back home. When he came back, he saw me holding a computer and curled up on the carpet in front of the sofa in the living room, typing away. The room was full of the smell of meat. When I came back and heard the door open, I looked up at him. My hands kept typing. Very smoothly. Liu Ruyan put the fruit he bought next to the coffee table. He walked over curiously. He looked closely and found that I was actually writing a story. I thought I had almost forgotten my major, but I still remembered some other things I learned it before. In addition, I had been reading novels all the time, so I have a good understanding of this area. I'd planned to try writing online articles. You don't mind, do you? I asked. and my hands kept moving. Obviously, I was just asking politely. That wasn't in line with my situation. Anyway, he didn't expect me to make money. He didn't comment. Just be happy. I know that this big guy definitely doesn't like these things. Maybe I don't really understand these things. I had to change the subject. The ribs are already stewed. It will probably take another hour before we can eat. Hello to your work. Liu Ruyan nodded. After washing and changing clothes, she went into her room. She didn't come out again. An hour later, I knocked on the door and called him to come out for dinner. There were 2 bowls of rice on the table. The dishes were quite rich. They were red and green. They were very beautiful. I also added some decorations. It was obviously carefully cooked. This was also the first time I made sweet and sour ribs. You can try it. If not, I will go down and smash some cucumbers. I sat down opposite Liu Ruyan. I picked up my bowl and said, since my parents had an accident in college, I had been living alone. Influenced by my parents, I don't have the high requirements for the quality of life, but it is definitely not low. I clean the house on time. I cook for myself whenever I have time. My life is very regular, so my life skills are not a problem. I say this now. It's just politeness. I can't say how good my cooking skills are. I still have some home cooking skills. When friends get together in the past, I was the chef at the banquet. I received a lot of compliments. Liu Ruyan picked up a piece and put it in her mouth. She nodded. Not bad. It tastes good. That's good. You should eat more. Your life was a mess the past few days. You didn't eat well. You didn't rest well. You worked hard. I poured a cup of lemon tea that I made this morning. I pushed it to him. This is lemon tea with a little honey in front of you. It replenishes vitamin C. You can drink as much as you want. Think it's sour? Why lowered her eyebrows and inquired. She always felt that the man in front of her was like a different person. It didn't match the information she had found before in the 2 years they had been together. But he really didn't pay close attention to her. He didn't dare to say that the information he had found before was completely correct. He could only suppress his doubts. He worked hard. Liu Ruyan took a sip of lemonade and said slowly, No, I'm at home all day. I can't be blown by the wind on, but you have to face so many things outside. It must be very hard. I should eat more. I smile. In fact, just thinking about it will tell you that the Liu family used to be out of reach of others. Family. When Mr. Liu was alive, who dared to go against the Liu family. And Liu Ruyan was the best since she was young. How many people were compared to him by their parents and grew up being despised? Just the accumulated resentment is so much. Now that Liu is gone, other distant friends of the Liu family. Only think about how to divide up the remaining power of the Liu family. I wish Liu Ruyan would fall quickly and would not lend a hand at all. They would rather add insult to injury to Liu Ruyan. Watching a person they could only look up to in the past being stepped on by themselves. In fact, when I read the novel before I traveled through time, I didn't understand why Liu Ruyan insisted on not letting her girlfriends help her. Obviously, if she accepted the help of those people, she would not fall. Unfortunately, our relationship is not very good now, so I'm embarrassed to ask. Thinking that Liu Ruyan was a big boss after all, she probably had her own considerations. I don't know how Liu Ruyan ate the meal, but I was satisfied with it anyway. Guess Liu Ruyan didn't hate the food I cooked, because he ate 2 bowls of rice. I put the dishes in the kitchen first. If I need to move, I'll wash them after I wake up in the afternoon. I threw the dishes into the kitchen sink, washed the fruit, took it out and put it on the coffee table, continued to type, wrote what I had written before. The speed was naturally very fast. Plus my typing speed, I had already practiced it. In the morning, I had already finished the 2,000-word outline. At this speed, I estimate that I can submit it after writing 20,000 words tomorrow. I plan to write a few more books before the results come out. Cast a wide net and catch more fish. You are a wine and in a special period now. We need money very much. I understand business matters. I can only make more money to relieve Liu Ruyan's pressure. Liu Ruyan returned to her room again. The door was closed and I didn't know what she was doing inside. It was almost 1:30. I forced myself to turn off the computer, go and take a nap. The living room suddenly became quiet. Liu Ruyan hesitated in her bedroom, replied to her sister Xiaoxi on the phone. Forget it, I'll see what happens to her later. It's only been 2 days. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe not. Wait a little longer. Less than an hour later, the alarm rang. I got up from the bed. I felt a little dizzy. I touched the bathroom. I found that the door was closed. I complained to myself that I closed the door for no reason. You grabbed the handle and pulled the door open. Just as I was about to step in, I looked up and bumped into the person inside. I pretended to be calm and closed the door again with an expressionless face. Then I held back my collapse and shouted sorry to the person inside. I was half asleep and thought I was the only one. After shouting, I ran to my room with a red face and closed the door. I wanted to slap myself to death. It was so embarrassing to run into my nominal wife squatting in the toilet. It took me a long time to adjust my mentality. I turned the door open and went out. Liu Ruyan just came out of the bathroom. The two bumped into each other again, although there was a distance of 4 or 5 meters between them. Liu Ruyan blushed and pretended to be calm. It's okay, don't be too embarrassed, this house is small. We will see each other every day. Just get used to it. Yes, get used to it. I nodded repeatedly. Then I was curious. I won't go out today. I have finished what I need to do today. I will go out in the afternoon. After Liu Ruyan finished speaking, I suddenly thought, I will not be here these few days. Is there anything I can help with? I felt a little uneasy. What's wrong? Is there something wrong? Although I have lived in the Liu family since I was a child, I am not so bad that I don't even have basic life skills. Now we live together in this small family, so you can tell me anything directly. I'm not just good at making money. Liu Ruyan said seriously. I know. I looked at Liu Ruyan's serious look and found it cute. Whether this person succeeds or fails in business, her appearance is really impeccable. As the most beautiful woman in the author's writing, she is very beautiful even if she has no expression. I think I can face such a woman without being moved. It's really amazing. After Liu Ruyan finished speaking, she looked at me meaningfully. I glanced at him and went back to my room. At this moment, I suddenly realized a problem. I stood up and ran to his door. What do you want to eat tonight? I don't care. Hey, crisp voice came from inside. Well, the young lady is easier to support than I thought. I strolled back and continued to type next to the coffee table. Just after I finished typing one picture, I suddenly thought of second down. I quickly opened it and looked. Wow, 12 watches and 2 sets of clothes have been sold. I don't really understand the value of those luxury goods. So when I put them up before, I checked the prices online first and then put them up at a 20% discount. Many of these things are still unopened. I'm afraid of going back. Your UI needs money urgently, so I didn't dare to put them up so expensive. I was worried that no one would be willing to buy such expensive things. Unexpectedly, they sold quite quickly. I recorded the addresses that needed to be shipped. After I saved the file, I ran to the room to find watches and clothes. Because there are many things to send, I plan to ask someone to pick them up. Half an hour later, everything was packed. The person who came to collect the parcels has also arrived. Liu Ruyan probably heard the noise and opened the door and came out. What are you doing? Realizing that something is wrong, Liu Ruyan frowned. I asked the receiver to record the registration information while answering without looking up. I had too many clothes and watches before. I'm not going out now. They take up too much space. I separated some of them and sold them. These were sold today. I had to send the things to the buyers as soon as possible. Liu Ruyan grabbed my hand that was flipping through my phone. No, we don't need you to sell things yet. I spoke carefully. In fact, it's mainly because they take up space, and they are not the latest season products. I won't use them if I keep them. It's better to sell them and get money. This way, if I see a new product I like in the future, I can buy it. This is enough to give the eldest lady face. I think I'm also very thoughtful. I don't know what I said that touched the boss. Liu Ruyan held my hand and trembled for a while. Then she let go. She didn't stop me again. She said, okay, I will buy a new one in the future. How dare I buy a new one? My watch costs tens of thousands of yuan, which is enough for my living expenses for half a year. If I buy a few watches, I will have to eat dirt. She complained about me in her heart, but she didn't show it on the surface. As a rich lady, she has a safe face. I smiled, okay, I'll wait for you to buy me a new watch in the future. Liu Ruyan was attracted by the smile on her face, which was familiar but felt very strange recently. She lowered her head slightly and saw the packed box on the ground. She bent down to pick it up and helped the receiver put it in the big bag. It was not until the receiver left with the things that Liu Ruyan asked me, how much do you plan to sell? I thought about it. There were more than 100 watches and more than 80 sets of clothes. Among them, more than 70 watches were not opened. I planned to sell them all. I would sell more than 40 of the remaining 50. I should keep 10 watches. As for the clothes, I would keep about 30 sets and sell the rest. I thought Liu Ruyan was going to stop me. Unexpectedly, Liu Ruyan just nodded. He didn't say anything else. He picked up an apple and started peeling it on the sofa. I couldn't figure out what he was thinking. I didn't know if what I did had hurt his self-esteem. However, life is more important than these messy thoughts. Even if he minds, I can't do anything about it. I checked this morning. The house price in this article has only risen by half. I don't know what Liu Ruyan's plan is and whether she will really make a comeback in the future. But no matter what, I have to find a way to buy a house first. After selling the watch and clothes, I can pay a down payment. Then, I will give the remaining money to Liu Ruyan. I can slowly pay for the house myself. And this way, even if the eldest lady can't make a comeback in the future, we won't be left without a place to stay. I was thinking randomly in my mind. I was staring at the computer screen next to the coffee table. I didn't move for a while. Suddenly, there was a peeled apple in front of me. The fragrance of the apple hit me. The skin was peeled evenly and beautifully. I couldn't help but swallow my saliva and found it was Liu Ruyan who handed the peeled apple to me. I pointed at myself. Liu Ruyan handed the apple for her again. I was flattered. Liu Ruyan in the original novel never approached men and had no patience for men. Now she would peel apples for me and peel them so beautifully. It was so surprising. I quickly took the apple. It's nothing. I bought it with your money. I'm grateful that you didn't look down on me for being a spendthrift before. Liu Ruyan actually smiled. This person usually has a cold face. Although it's not particularly cold, it's hard to get close to her. She suddenly smiled at this time. I was stunned. How could there be such a beautiful woman in the world? Don't worry, I will definitely buy you more watches in the future. Yes, I believe you will definitely make a comeback. Don't worry, I'll wait for you. You can buy me a watch then. After saying that, she also made an encouraging gesture. Come on, you can do it. Liu Ruyan was like this. With a smile on her face, she got up and went back to her room. There was a hint of interest in her eyes where I couldn't see her. She worked on the manuscript for the whole afternoon. Finally, she wrote more than 10,000 words. I cooked porridge and vegetables for dinner. We ate a little and continued to do our own things. I stayed up until 12 o'clock in the evening. I successfully finished 20,000 words. The next morning after dinner, Liu Ruyan went out and I fiddled with the submission. I looked at the second-hand web page. I sold 8 watches and a set of clothes. It was as if I saw a large amount of money constantly going into my wallet. I was in a very good mood. I had just sorted out the manuscript and submitted it. Then I heard someone knocking on the door. Who is it? I stood up and prepared to open the door. I heard a man talking outside the door. I was in the same scene as you. Who was that? I went to open the door and recalled. I thought for a long time but couldn't find this person in my memory. I opened the door and saw that there was only one man outside. He looked like a badass. As soon as I saw him, I looked at him from head to toe with the eyes of a girl. It made me feel very uncomfortable. Please ask me come in and sit down, Tang Jing said as he was about to go in. I don't know who this is. Stop him quickly. Who are you looking for? If you are Chen Zhe, I am here to find you. The other party squeezed into the room with his body tilted. Sister Liu is not here now. The other party has squeezed in. I can't drive him out. I had to close the door. Pour a cup of tea in front of him. He left early in the morning. Do you have anything to do with me? Of course I have something to do. To be honest, although you look good, you have neither family background nor ability. Sister Liu is really wrong to marry you. I know that it was because Grandpa Liu wanted to repay his kindness that he let you marry Sister Liu. But you have been married to her for so many years and can't help her in her career. You can't do anything except buying things and playing all day. Do you feel embarrassed? I interrupted him. Can I ask you a question? Are you related to Liu Ruyan? Tang Jin raised his head proudly. Sister Liu and I grew up together since we were childhood sweethearts. She's very good to me. If it were if you say so, we might have been together a long time ago. I searched for the name Tang Jin in my memories for a long time, but I still couldn't find it. I've never heard of you. Isn't this nonsense? Would Sister Liu mention me in front of you? If we were childhood sweethearts, it seems that Liu Ruyan would not mention me in front of Kanan father. First of all, they're not familiar with each other. Secondly, she would not interfere. I nodded. So what is your purpose in coming to me? Sister Liu is in need of help right now. How can you continue to hold her back? My father has agreed. As long as we get married, he will help Sister Liu make a comeback. So you should divorce him. If Liu Ruyan wants to divorce me, she can just tell me directly. Why do you need to convey it to me? I'm not a shameless person. Or is it just your opinion? Red Alert glared at me and said with disdain. How could Sister Liu take the initiative to do such a tasteless thing? Of course he was embarrassed to say it. You have to take the initiative yourself. He has so much money. You haven't helped him in these years. He has never made things difficult for you. Now he is in trouble. You can't help much, right? But you shouldn't drag him down. Take the initiative to file for divorce. He goes with the flow. It's good for everyone. This is what Liu Ruyan meant. I just grasped the key points. Confirmed again that this is what I meant. Tang Jing was impatient. Why don't you understand? Sister Liu is not someone who would do such a thing. What is it now that we take the initiative to help her? You divorce her first. Then I can marry her. Then I can accept my father's help. However, I shook my head. If this is what Liu Ruyan meant, of course, I had no problem filing for divorce. When you said this is what you meant. Then I would like to ask, before Liu Ruyan and I got married, were you and him in a relationship? Does he love you? Tang Jing froze while drinking water. That's not important. He's not good at expressing himself. Besides, he doesn't like you. I can help him, and you will only drag him down. I am 100 times more suitable for him than you are. You're wrong. I shook my head again. Maybe I don't know Liu Ruyan very well, but I'm sure he won't easily accept your father's help, especially if it's in exchange for marrying you. I think it's good for him to persuade your father to help him, but you haven't thought about how he will stand in front of the world if he relies on your father to make a comeback. He will never be able to get rid of the reputation of relying on a rich family to make a fortune. I really don't know Liu Ruyan very well, but I believe that the villain in the original book is not a person who is willing to live off others. In fact, if he was not unwilling to bow down, he would not have encountered many difficulties and risks. How could such a person accept using his marriage as a bargaining chip to exchange for his comeback? At least not in the short term. As for the cannon fodder, his marriage to Liu Ruyan was purely for gratitude. Liu Ruyan chose to accept it for her grandfather and for her reputation. This is different from Tong Jing's situation. Others will not say anything to him but only say that he talk about morality. And he has always been the stronger party. It doesn't make him feel uncomfortable. In fact, I don't mind divorcing Liu Ruyan. It's just that I was definitely not instigated by others to do so, thinking that he is good as an excuse to divorce him. I showed my attitude. What Liu Ruyan wants is his own business. I absolutely respect his choice. You just want to drag him and not divorce him. Tang Jing seemed to have his tail stepped on. He exploded all of a sudden. How can you, a man, be so selfish? Sister Liu has done her best for you. Now he finally has a chance to make a comeback. You ought to wipe it out with your own hands. You are so disgusting. I'm disgusted with Mr. Huh? I had been polite to you. My face suddenly turned cold. Don't say. You suddenly came over today and said a bunch of inappropriate words. If you don't know, you might think you're rushing to be a mistress and destroy other people's families. When is it time for outsiders to interrupt the marriage between Liu Ruyan and me? Well, you are kind enough to help Liu Ruyan. But you shouldn't come to me to say this. If you want to help him, go and tell him. I can't make decisions for him. I won't pester him and refuse to divorce him. I won't give him a chance to speak. If he really likes you, why didn't you get married before Grandpa you found me? If it's because of your lack of affection, why aren't you even a couple? You keep saying that he's not the kind of person who breaks his promises. But your current behavior is clearly breaking his promises for him. And you're just satisfying your own love for him. You haven't considered any specific issues for him. Forgive me, I really can't see your deep affection for him. I only see a man who wants to satisfy his own selfish desires and thinks he's affectionate. Tang Jing's face flushed. You, a pretty boy who can't do anything except spend money, why do you say that? Just because I'm still her nominal husband, as long as I'm still her husband, I have the right to say that anyone who wants to interfere in our marriage. I held my head high. I used to always spend money on buying things. I never helped her with anything, but she agreed to let me buy things. He didn't mind. Why are you in such a hurry? If you want to marry her, go tell him. As long as you reach a consensus with him, I will divorce him without saying anything. You are telling me this here. I will not agree. You are shameless. Tong Jingqi put the cup on the table fiercely. I am no longer angry. Calmly playing with his cup. You are a person who wants to destroy other people's marriages. You don't feel shameless. Where do you get the courage to say that I am shameless? Since you think I am shameless, I think we don't get along. I have an attitude. I will not take the initiative to file for divorce. If you want us to divorce, go find it yourself. If Liu Ruyan wants to divorce me, I will divorce her without saying anything. Tang Jingqi gasped. In the end, you just don't want to divorce. I nodded, and you can think of it as me not wanting to divorce. Get a positive answer, knowing that I can't achieve my goal today. Hong Jing stood up and walked away angrily. Before he left, he turned around and said to me, "Just wait, you bastard. Sister Liu will dump you sooner or later." The door closed again. I sighed quietly. It's okay that the heroine is likable. Even the villain is so likable. Not only do I have to help the cannon fodder repay the eldest lady, but I also have to face the man who comes to pester the eldest lady. It's not easy. If it weren't for my conscience, I actually wanted to divorce. And it was just a thought. I can't take someone's body for granted. I can't spend someone's money and abandon them when they are in a low point. Although I didn't spend the money, it's nominally my own account now, right? Putting this matter behind me, I opened the webpage, recorded the address and style, and then went to my room to pick up the watches I sold. After sorting them out, I called the receiver. The things I sold today must be sent out early. Calculating these things sold also had a difference. By more than 2 million. When the buyers receive the goods, there will be more money in my bank card. If I sell a few more pieces, I can buy a small house, pay a down payment, and become a homeowner. Thinking of this, I suddenly feel full of energy. I don't want to type for the time being. I just open the web page and start looking for houses in this city. I must choose the first house carefully. After looking for a while, it's almost noon. I didn't even bother to close the web page. I hurried to cook. When Miss Lu left this morning, she told me that she would come back for lunch. It's all my fault. I was so absorbed in imagining the beautiful life in the future that I even forgot to check the time. I planned to eat wontons at noon. The filling is wonton skins that were prepared early in the morning. I also bought them yesterday. I put everything on the table in the restaurant and dropped them off. Because I ate this stuff when I was bored at home in my previous life, my movements are quite skilled. It seems to have formed a rhythm. I wrap one every few seconds. It didn't take long to wrap more than 20. I was wrapping this well. The few cocktail parties I have attended in the past were basically annual meetings. Half of them were author annual meetings. As a popular author of the website, nothing bad has ever happened to me. I don't need to worry about it. The staff of the website will help me arrange things properly. It suddenly asked me to challenge something so difficult. I'm afraid I can't handle it. It's okay. At this time, no one can cause me trouble. Even if there is trouble, I don't care about it at all. Liu Ruyan said infinitely. After that, she calmly picked up the cup on the table and poured a glass of water. It's a bit uncomfortable to hear these words. In the past, people looked at Liu Ruyan's eyes. I guess if I go to this kind of party now, they will look at other people's eyes together. I originally wanted to refuse, but I nodded and agreed. I said I would prepare well. After all, we are husband and wife. Usually you're who goes out to look at other people's eyes. Now it is my turn to go out and face it. Although I'm not a cannon fodder and I did not spend Liu Ruyan's money, I occupied the body of the cannon fodder. The nature is similar. In the next 2 days, Liu Ruyan still went out early and came back late. But she would eat at home in the morning and evening. I also habitually prepared a meal for Liu Ruyan in the morning and evening. I honestly wrote and sold things every day and kept checking. I attend such a cocktail party. The sad thing is that no one who has the right and opportunity to attend those high-end cocktail parties would be crazy enough to write these things on the internet. So I searched for several days in a row, but I didn't find anything. I opened my phone and saw that there were quite a few phone numbers of my previous cannon fodder friends that I had ignored. I guess some of them would know what the cocktail party was like. But the cannon fodder didn't have a close relationship with those people. They were just drinking buddies. If I contacted them at this time, not to mention how embarrassing it would be for me as a fake, I would say that most people would just laugh at me. And asking such questions would easily expose myself. If I searched my memories, I would find that the cannon fodder had only been there when I first got married. Except for attending similar cocktail parties, I never attended them again. How sad. Liu Ruyan was obviously afraid that the cannon fodder would be embarrassed when going out. I couldn't do anything else. I had to solve the first step of what to wear. According to my past memories, I chose a few clothes from the clothes that I hadn't sold. Since I couldn't make up my mind, I had no idea at all. I struggled with it and finally had to ask Liu Ruyan for help. So when Liu Ruyan walked in that day, she found that Chenze, who had been writing novels these days, was not sitting on the sofa as usual. Instead, when she heard the door open, she looked at him with burning eyes. Her expression was also a little weird.